As a child, I hated rough drafts. I figured I wrote it, you should love it. Hello. Now, I realize as a 50-year-old man that perhaps my mother was gaslighting me as a child. I used to take pieces of paper out and just draw squiggles. Line after line of squiggles. Didn't matter what the squiggles. I mean, they meant something to me. And I saw my parents using the cursive. Cursive. Cursive sounds like one of those things where you're just like, what was he? How angry were you? You were cursive? That's angry. That's angry. Yes. I'm writing a poem. It's very charged. I perform open mic poetry once a month at our local firehouse. It's a literal firehouse. Like, they get fire calls during the show. Like, if you need a dramatic pause, there ain't nothing like it. Anywho, uh, so I am, I don't know if you might know this or not, but open mic poetry is not usually going to attract folks of a lighter melanin inclusion. How many dog whistles can you use to say not white? So I don't have an issue with it. So I have lived in a mostly person of color town. God, what do I don't even call it. It's just my town. My town. Just try that in my town. God damn it. I can't even. I can't. You think. Mm-mm. No, no. Let me tell you about my town. I was calling my doctor's office the other day, which is over in Woodlawn. I live in Randallstown. I was calling my doctor's office the other day, and while I was on hold, and hey, healthcare is what healthcare is. America hasn't figured it out yet, but I believe in America. She's going to school. She is going to school. That's all you ever need to say. Is she going to school? Is she going to school? Because if she's not going to school, she's going to dress up like a he so he can be educated. And you created transgenderism. By separating the genders, you created transgenderism. Transgenderism is the holy path. I went to a bar last night that had a bathroom. It had a handicap accessible bathroom, and it had a bunch of urinals. And these three bathrooms were the only bathroom options in the place. You either had to use a urinal, you needed a toilet with some bars on it. Bars. Dropping dookies like I'm friends that the losers. No, well, I mean, friends aren't losers. That's why they're not friends. Stop toying with me. Anyway, transgenderism doesn't matter in a place like that because you don't have to worry about the bathroom and the money spends. And we're not going to be doing any DNA tests. And unless you have explicit, knowledgeable consent of equal power dynamics, really should never come up. What's the flesh between my femurs? I mean, I don't know. What are you going to do with it? Do you want a tour of my anatomy? You're going to have to buy me a few first, and a couple of those, and do you have any of the? You have any of the? I really appreciate the. Anyway, where was I? I don't know. I started crying writing this poem. I started crying watching Invincible. Invincible's so good. If you're having issues with your parent and you're having issues with America, there's some real not so subtle tones in Invincible. I haven't even finished watching it. I'm like, I'm crying. Hey, I'm crying. You know what you should do? If you're crying, you should stop applying whatever you're applying. You know? You know? If you're doing your hair and you're crying, hey, you got there. You're there. You if people look at you and they're like, and you say, I cried, and they go, oh, I yield for that. I yield for that. I yearn for that. I watched a cartoon today and I cried. Did I cry for that cartoon? No, I didn't cry for that cartoon. I cried for me. But I am in a situation, we are in straight war zone triage. America is in its final season. These people are losing their God loving minds. They are losing their pug loving minds. I got to hang out with a lot of pugs last night, so dogs don't judge you. Dogs do judge me. Somebody handed me their pug. Don't hand me their pug. Don't hand me your little dog. Don't hand me your little baby. I don't know you. I don't know you. You are handing me liability. I don't know. I just met you. Please don't hand me your baby. I know you're tired of carrying the load. Here's a stroller. Here are plenty of non-mechanical items. When they fail, I won't be blamed. But if I drop your now terrified baby because you just handed it to a giant. Somebody handed me their pug last night. I swear to you, this dog looked at me like, please don't eat me. It was like, I gotta get away. I hear struggling food makes the worst food. I'm telling you. This beautiful little baby tried to jump out of my hands, and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. All their little harnesses have handles on the back, just in case we need to reach them out the window and, shake. Oh my gosh, I put that pug down real quick, and then somebody held their pug and sat down, and then I leaned in the picture, so we have like a perspective thing. Oh my goodness! But I did get lots of pug loving, and apparently, animal therapy works because animals don't have they don't have the same memory as humans do, and they don't have the same boundaries. Um, and you always know power dynamics among animals. And if you're not approaching me with a proper power dynamic, I'll bite you. And the tails. Everybody's got it. Tails are going. Tails are going. And it's so funny, too, because there were a lot of pugs there last night. And then dog lovers were like, you're bringing dogs to the bar? Well, I'm going to bring my dog to the bar. So we had all kinds of other non-pug pugs. And you're like, oh, excuse me. This is a gathering for pugs. It is a benefit for the Appalachian Pug Rescue. Huzzah, huzzah. I don't know if we need your doodle love here. I don't know if we need your rampant chihuahua. This isn't the Westminster Kennel Club. We're not doing a toy category. Why did you bring your non-pug pug up? Why'd you bring your non-pug? And then none of that happened because these are good people. That's what I've always found, that people who love animals have been done dirty by people. I think animals are like the angels, if you will. As my understanding of the Bible, as it was bandied about my head by professionals my mother took me to, dear mother, the mistake you made was your part in this. She said that to me the other day. She said, I'm sorry. I'm like, what are you sorry for? She's like, I'm sorry for everything. I said, you can't apologize for everything. You're not God. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry for my part. And I'm like, and it like opened a door. It opened a door. It hadn't been opened in a while. I don't need her to apologize for everything. She's not responsible for everything. She always apologizes for everything. It's not her fault. She keeps Jesus-ing up the situation. I'd say a real good Christian crushes under the weight of the world. The best Christians you'll never meet because they're already being ground to dust under the giant stones of the Old Testament. If you have an annoying Christian in your life and you need to humble a little bit, Judges 19. Look up Judges 19 and see how men are going to treat women in Old Testament times. And then I want you to flip over to the New Testament, something that Donald Trump can't do in the Bible bearing his name and his signature. Flip over to Galatians 3:28 and understand why Donald Trump's directive that people are just men and women is a direct violation of Galatians 3:28. For we are neither Greek nor Jew. We are neither Palestinian nor Jew. We are neither male nor female. We are neither slave nor free. We are neither poor nor rich. We are neither illegal or legal. We are neither working for the Reds or working for the Blues. For we are one in Christ, King Jesus. And what did Jesus do? Jesus talked to the dirty women. Do you know how awful The story of the Good Samaritan. I laugh every time I walk into a hospital named Good Samaritan. Good Samaritan has been a godsend. The local hospital charges us so much. I mean, every hospital charges you because that's the game they play. That's the game they play. They don't even want to play the money game with you because they're playing the money game with the money managers that you hire, called insurance agencies, and pharmacy benefit managers. And holy shit. Once you hear a term you don't know, search that term to the dirt. That's what people call it in a certain community I'm not going to tell you about because you got to do the research. They got read down to the dirt. If somebody gives you a term you don't understand, figure out what it means. Because not only do you need to know what the actual term is, then flip over to Urban Dictionary and then type up what the slang means. Because that shit is code switching. That shit is can't. That shit is dog whistling. You don't even know the conversations going around you in English, let alone the hundreds of conversations you let slip through a Pimsleur Duolingo Rosetta Stone opportunity. I patronize a place where the person helping me doesn't speak English. I have the person who serves me food not speaking English. That's not a problem with America. That's the beauty of America. This entire country, our cities are our universities. The fact that people are like, oh, I go to this university, I go to this. Well, my university doesn't have walls. Neither does my church. Neither does my state. Neither does my world. My world doesn't have walls. I feel like a fucking fence salesman on a fucking island. What do you people want from me? Jesus Christ. Like, I could literally nail myself to a tree, and you would use that same tree to build a hammer and hammer together a thing that keeps people divided. Like, our houses are made out of wood. Jesus died on wood. And we house people in steel. I don't know. I'm dealing with a lot right now. I hope you cried with me. Have a great day. And listen, they're going to come for the people that don't look like you. And once they're all gone, they're going to come for you. Let me explain a little bit about how the wild works. If you go to a herd, imagine if you were hunting a pug. And you looked in a group of pugs and you saw a very docile one over here. You might go over and pick up that pug, and that pug might go home with you. I could snatch that pug right out of that group of pugs. That one that was squirming, that doesn't make a good snatchable pug. You squirm. Somebody trying to snatch you? Squirm. Make a noise. Make a lot of noise. Make a mess. Grab stuff. Break stuff. Oh my God, you're not going to snatch me in the middle of a department store. I'm going to throw candles at you like I'm having a mental breakdown. Struggle. But for those of you struggling, I need you to keep an eye on your friends that ain't struggling. The people that ain't struggling, they're the ones that are going to slip. Pretty soon, they're going to be urban camping. You ain't paid your rent in how long? Urban camper. You know, Trump says that urban campers got to go. I'm sorry, my friend. I'm shy, see? You got to go, see? This shitty here is for people who pay their rent. You got to go out to the countryside, to a special camp, a recamp, a population camp, a concentration of population camp. You understand? A population camp, urban camper camp. A camp. You wanted to urban camp in the city? No urban camping in the city, paying rent in the city. You urban camp outside, in a special camp, with walls, to make sure you don't find your way back to the city. You crafty little camper, you... So first they came for the campers. Shit, I ain't camped in a long time. So I ain't say nothing. What do I care about camping? What do you mean I'm a camper? What the fuck you mean I'm a camper? What do you mean 3 generations in this country isn't enough? I love when private school children start telling public school children what to do with their education. Ain't nothing scarier in this world than a person with a library card. Person of color is doubly so. A person that doesn't speak English. Triply so. I love how America is at a point that if you speak two languages, we immediately assume you're a spy. That's how ignorant America is. Do better, America. You knew better. Now you gotta do better.